speaker is Fulufhelo Siphugu. Right. Fulufhelo Siphugu. Title of the speech is Finding My Voice, which will be evaluated by Neth and Mark. Neth, do you mind sharing what the speech is all about?
Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, Fulufhelo is a member who has just joined Pretoria Advance, but she transferred from a different club. So she's still in Pathways Level 1, and this is her first speech at this club, which is loosely based on an icebreaker as an introduction, but it is going to incorporate vocal variety and body language because it is the second or the third project actually along the way. And because she's been a member and then stopped and now joined again effective 1st of April, I wasn't able to go through base camp with her and catch up. We've got that plan tomorrow. But anyhow, so that's just a little bit of background on Fulufhelo. And she is going to give a speech, as I said, loosely based on the icebreaker, but incorporating vocal variety and body language. And the title of that speech is Finding My Voice. And the time is 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you. Steph, if I may check, how's the time tonight? Do other timekeepers?
No, I'm just helping.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
We are running behind.
So, are we able to give you?
No, definitely. Yes, just make it happen. We want to see what
Alright, okay, cool. Now what I want to stage, Fulufhelo Siphugu, Finding My Voice. Fulufhelo Siphugu, Finding My Voice.
Good evening, our Toastmasters, our guests and visitors. Let me start with a confession. Let me just confess. When Christine reached out to ask me if I wanted to do a speech, I immediately said yes. And then I remembered where I stopped initially. And I had a terrible stage fright. We did 2 speeches and I was like, nah, it's too terrifying. But that day when I spoke to you, I immediately started thinking, I wish today never comes. I wish. But here we are, the day has arrived. I am terrified as we speak right now, but I am very proud of myself. I am proud that on that day, I did not let fear decide for me. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Fulufhelo. Fulufhelo is a Venda name. It means hope. It's a beautiful name that I got from my grandmother. But I actually have 2 names. My other name is Confidence. Confidence is from mother. And with that said, it does not mean that now you should expect a confident speaker. Because the reason I say that, for the longest time, I have not been, I've done quite a good job in not living up to that name. I used to believe that if I get educated, if I work hard, if I have all these good ideas, I'll actually make it in life, I would advance career-wise. But life has taught me otherwise. Life has taught me that ideas alone are not good enough. Even the qualifications, they're okay, but they're not good enough. My voice has to carry those ideas. My voice has to bring those ideas to life. So that is the reason why I have decided to rejoin, regardless of how doing this makes me feel. So when I chose a career many years ago, I intentionally chose biochemistry because at that time I thought, hey, it's an introvert type of job, it's a job where I'll hide in the lab doing research. Okay, I was a high school student. I later found out that was a terrible plan because even if it was a lab job, I still had to present my research in front of people. plan didn't work. The monster of public speaking was still following me around. But for some reason, I worked in the lab for a bit, and then I decided to switch to medical sales. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a job where I need to sell implants to orthopedic surgeons. Sometimes they're sitting in a group like this, sometimes it's a hall full of people, sometimes it's one-on-one. Tell me, who in their right mind, with that self-awareness, would make such a move? But anyway, it's an interesting story. I'll tell you some other day. Long story. But anyway, so I moved to sales. I would say top 2 of the biggest decisions that I've ever made in my life. Challenging. I would say I blame YouTube for listening to motivational speaker. Get out of your comfort zone. Took it too literal, but I'm glad I did. So I started with sales, but I started off from a leadership. There's a program that was running for a year. There were 6 of us, and most times we would be expected to work in a group. So in a group project, because I know that I'm going to shy away from talking, I really excel in doing the research and putting the work together, generating the ideas. But when time came for that group work to be presented, there was this confident guy, charming too, great voice. He would be the one who would volunteer, he would step forward to say, I would do the presentation. Mind you, this was the person that would contribute the least to the actual work that we are actually presenting. But he would do the presentation, you know, and most recognition would go to him. He was quickly noticed within the company. Literally from the first quarter we started at leadership, everybody knew this because he was him, you know. And then there was us, the thinkers in the background, but hiding our contribution through the silence, just giving somebody the work to do the talking. And the credit went to him, but not because he was the smartest of the 6 of us, but he spoke. And he didn't just speak, he spoke with confidence. And that moment actually taught me that you could be the smartest person in the room, but if you're not gonna speak and speak well, then you might go unnoticed. Your contribution, your smart ideas, they end in your head, or you share it to somebody else and that person shines through your ideas. So this is why I have decided to rejoin and continue with the journey that I started long time ago. And I am hoping that through this experience, now starting with this speech today, this for me would be the first step moving from silence to finding my voice. And I'm not expecting the fear. Like when I started, I was so scared. Now it's getting better. I'm not expecting the fear to disappear. I'm not expecting that. But I'm expecting my voice to get stronger as I practice every chance I get, as I attend more of these events. And with my voice getting stronger, I hope eventually I would become the confidence that my name says I am. Thank you. Oh my God. Definitely.
Yeah, own it, girl. Thank you so much. May I please have the timer's report?
You had to sleep between 5 and 7, and you were 6:38.
Well done.
And the primary report.
Fulufhelo, just 2 ums and 1 so not bad. A little bit disappointed that your speech was about seizing the day and you didn't use the word of the day. And I would encourage everybody else to maybe use the word a little bit more, work it in. I only had about few recordings of it. But yes, very well done.
As a Toastmasters, we clap for everything.
Alright, I see that we don't have the fruit ready as yet, so I'll just move over to our formal evaluation. Are you ready, Lynette?
Yes, ma'am. Fulufhelo,
Yes.
confidence. Oozes from you. You might not believe it, but it does. Your voice is very good, carries very well. So when it comes to vocal variety, you definitely got the vocal that carries well enough. You will learn later to maybe speak softer when it's necessary. Speak a little bit faster when you want to. Or speak a little bit slower. But that's more advanced vocal variety. So really don't worry about it right now. But your voice is really great. Your butterflies will never go away. And I think you've realized that. What you do by standing up here is you just teach them to fly information. So they don't worry you so much. So don't worry, the butterflies are always there. If you reach the day when you are not nervous when you stand up to speak, then you're disrespecting your audience. You need to be a little bit nervous. You need to know that you could be. So don't stress about the butterflies, they will learn to fly information. You cross your legs. Be aware of that so you can try not to do that. When you're in the speaking area, try not to clasp your hands, and if you're too nervous to move around, stand with your feet shoulder width apart, so not together because then you kind of fall over. Just shoulder width apart comfortably and put your hands down next to you. Because then if you want to say that I flew away and he was terrible and insulted me, the hands are there and they're easy to use. You don't have to first unclasp them. So clasping your hands is a signature, not a signature, it's a sign of someone who's not comfortable speaking. Use it, work just to put your hands down here and then use them when you need to. You moved out in front of the lectern, which was good. You didn't have notes at all, that was excellent. So that's good. You mentioned that you've already learned the lesson of being able to speak. You learned it at work. Of being able to speak to convey your ideas so that someone else doesn't come and steal your ideas and grow in the glory of your own ideas. So you're halfway there. That's a great thing to have learned. The other thing I would ask you to work on after you've come to terms with your hands is more purposeful use of the speaking area. So don't just walk around a little bit. Stand here and move to there when you had to. I was researching in the lab and I moved into sales. And then we went on training and this chap stole all my ideas and presented them. So make it purposeful use of the speaking area. But really, very well done. I was pleased to listen to your speech and I will send the evaluation for you. Madam Toastmaster, may I suggest that you find a chair here?
I was thinking on that.
Each time you do the speaking area.
Thank you.